7 years. I gave that firm 7 damn years. I was the guy who stepped in when shit hit the fan. When deadlines blew up or a client went nuclear, they sent me. No excuses, no overtime pay, no thanks. Just pressure, and I took it every single time. Then came Darren Maddox, new VP. Suits that cost more than my car, the kind of smile you see in campaign ads. He rolled in talking about streamlining operations and eliminating inefficiencies. Translation, heads were gonna roll. First day he walked in, didn't even shake my hand. Just looked me up and down and goes, "So you're Rick, huh? Expected someone taller. Quick note, before listening, share which city or country you're watching from." I gave him a short laugh, said, "Guess I'm taller in results than in person." He didn't smile, just turned and walked off. That was the start. Over the next few weeks, the office turned into a war zone. Darren fired good people, gutted entire departments, brought in his own crew, corporate drones who nodded when he spoke and never asked why. Somehow, I stayed. Probably because the campaigns I ran kept landing big clients. They needed me, but they didn't like that they did. I didn't play the politics game. I backed my team in meetings. I questioned Darren's half-baked strategies. I made it clear I wasn't afraid to speak up. That made me a problem. Then came the Friday meeting. Long week. Tension had been building. We were reviewing next quarter's roadmap, and Darren pushed another one of his genius ideas, cutting the data team and outsourcing analytics to a firm in Ohio. I said, "You do that, you'll be flying blind." Those guys built the backbone of our reporting. Darren leaned in, all smiles and venom, and said, "If you're not happy here, Rick, the door's right there." I stared at him. Didn't flinch, didn't blink, just slowly pushed my chair back, stood up, and walked out. Not a word, no big scene. But inside, I was done. I didn't go home that night and cry. I went home and got to work. If they wanted to push me out, fine. But I wasn't leaving empty-handed. I had something they forgot I owned, and I was about to remind them just how dangerous I could be. Monday morning, I walked in like nothing happened, slid my badge, nodded at the front desk, and took the elevator up like it was any other week. But everything had changed. My desk was gone, not moved, not reassigned, gone. Carly, Darren's pet project, who still called Google Docs the cloud, was sitting there with her Starbucks and her fake laugh, typing like she had a clue what she was doing. She glanced up, blinked, then went right back to typing. No greeting, no apology. Like I didn't exist. My name was gone from the calendar. My inbox was dry. I tried logging into the analytics tools I built. Access denied. They didn't fire me. They were freezing me out. Classic corporate exile. I didn't flinch, didn't even blink. I grabbed my bag, walked 2 doors down, and found a spare conference room, pulled the blinds, parked myself in there like it was my damn office. No laptop, no to-do list. I just sat. Quiet. Watching. Around mid-morning, the first one came by. Amanda from my old team. "Hey, are you okay? What happened Friday?" I kept my tone flat. Darren made it clear I wasn't part of the plan. By lunch, 2 executives stopped in, then Tim from Creative. A client even dropped by, some regional director from Texas I'd worked with for years. "Are you leaving?" "No," I said. "Not yet." Word was spreading. I didn't rant, I didn't gossip, I just gave them the facts and let them do the math. By Tuesday, people were walking past Carly's desk without stopping. Some glanced toward the conference room like it was a crime scene. Others gave me nods like they knew. Even Carly cracked, walked past me once in the hallway and mumbled, "This wasn't my call, Rick." I said, "No one said it was." She didn't look back. That Friday, around 4 p.m., my phone buzzed. Message from Darren's assistant. "He's asking for 5 minutes." Of course he was. I walked into his office, cool as ever. He was leaned back, jacket off, sipping some top-shelf bourbon like we were old pals wrapping up a project. "Rick," he said, like my name tasted bitter. "You've had a good run here. Nobody's questioning that. But maybe it's time to move on. Find something that fits your style better." I smiled, not wide, just enough to piss him off. Reached into my folder, pulled out a clean signed resignation letter. "Already did," I said, effective immediately. He raised his eyebrows. "So that's it?" I stood. "You said the door was right there." I took your advice. No handshake, no goodbye. I walked straight out of that office, past Carly, past the team, and hit the elevator button with one thing in mind. Step 2. They had no idea what I was about to do next. By the time I hit the parking lot, I already knew what I was going to do. They thought they'd push me out, thought I'd just fade and disappear like the others. But what Darren didn't know, what no one in that building realized, was that I owned the one thing they couldn't replace: Signal Core. It wasn't just a dashboard or some spreadsheet tracker. It was a full-stack analytics system I built myself, before they ever hired me. Nights, weekends, 2 full years of coffee, code, and client headaches. And the key detail? I never signed it over. Not in my contract. Not in any agreement. Signal Core was mine. And they were still using it. I went home, opened my laptop, and pulled up the codebase. Still clean, still humming, all of it backed up, version stamped, and filed under my personal LLC from 5 years ago, an entity I'd shelved but never closed. That night, I called 3 clients I trusted, people who knew my work, knew the difference between Darren's buzzwords and real strategy. First call was Jenna from Seattle. "You free now?" she asked. "Yep." "No more filters." "You still got Signal Core?" "Damn right I do." Then came Eric from Atlanta. Then Julia from Denver. All 3 were in. I spent Saturday rebuilding my LLC. New name, new EIN, new domain. Sunday morning, I launched a landing page. Clean white layout, sharp copy, no fluff. Just the truth, built by the guy who made your numbers make sense. The footer had a simple line in bold: "Still using Signal Core at your current firm? You might be using it illegally." Monday morning, I checked the logs. They were still running queries through my system, still pulling reports like nothing changed. Bold as hell. I gave them 1 week. 1 week to pull the plug, admit what they were doing, or get legal. I knew what Darren would do: bluff, stall, deny. So, while I waited, I started laying bricks, tightened up the back end, hired a freelance IP attorney to review my documentation, found every file, timestamp, design sketch, and version history dating back 7 years, all under my name. Then I heard through the grapevine that Darren told the board I was bluffing, said I'd cracked under pressure, that I was spiraling emotionally. Of course he did. He'd rather lie than admit I was smarter than him. That Friday, I sat at my kitchen table, coffee in one hand, resignation letter framed on the wall behind me, and started writing. The cease and desist was cold, no emotion, just facts. Line 1, to whom it may concern. The unauthorized use of Signal Core constitutes intellectual property theft. I laid out everything: copyright records, LLC ownership, evidence of their ongoing use, the tools they had renamed but never rebuilt, screenshots, logs, my original file structure still intact on their servers. And then I closed with, "You have 72 hours to cease all use of Signal Core. After that, legal action begins. No bluff, no drama, just a loaded trigger, ready to fire." I saved the document, double-checked every line. The moment I hit send, my inbox lit up. Auto replies, read receipts, all hitting within minutes. They had it now, in writing, and I knew exactly what they'd do next. Try to bury it, try to pretend none of it mattered. But this time, they weren't the ones holding the cards. I sent the letter Monday morning at exactly 9:02 a.m. Cease and desist, plain and brutal. Laid it all out: ownership filings, design documentation, patent reference number, timestamps, everything. Nothing emotional, just facts, cold, hard, and bulletproof. 3 days passed, no call, no lawyer, not even a lousy "we're reviewing this" reply. Then Thursday at noon, I got the email. One line: "After internal review, we find no evidence of infringement." That was it. No signature, no name, just a ghost email from some legal alias pretending like my tool was a figment of my imagination. I poured a glass of water, sat down at my desk, and escalated. There was a tech journalist I'd worked with 5 years earlier, Naomi Tran, sharp, no fluff. Covered real stories, not just launch parties and buzzwords. I shot her a message: "Got a story for you? Theft, cover-up, proof in writing, interested?" Her reply came in under 2 hours. "If it's real, send everything." I sent what I had: codebase with commit logs, LLC formation papers, and a screenshot of their live dashboard still running Signal Core, enough to prove they were using it illegally. One of my old devs had secretly sent it the day after I quit. Audio of Darren in a project meeting saying, "We'll just rebuild it. Same structure, new name." She walked away. No one's digging into it. Naomi's next message was one line. "This is gold. Can I publish?" I gave her the green light. By the next morning, it was everywhere. Exclusive. Ex-employee exposes IP theft at rising marketing tech firm. Splashed across LinkedIn, Reddit, Twitter, even some VC newsletters. The article didn't pull punches. It quoted my cease and desist, linked directly to my LLC site, compared code snippets line by line, even included a timestamp screenshot of my dashboard still running inside their client portal. I didn't post about it. I didn't need to. The industry spoke for me. My inbox exploded. Messages from old coworkers, random devs, even recruiters saw the story. Following now. "Good on you, man." Finally, someone with receipts. Of course, the trolls showed up too. Keyboard warriors calling me bitter, saying I should have just moved on. One guy even DM'd, "You'll never work in tech again pulling stunts like this." I ignored all of it, because under the noise, the truth was out. I watched Darren's LinkedIn page get real quiet. No posts, no updates, no streamlining excellence nonsense, just silence. But now, I wasn't just the guy who built Signal Core. I was the guy who brought the hammer down. And I wasn't finished yet. I didn't even have to wait long. Darren finally crawled out of hiding, with some polished PR trash on LinkedIn. Success breeds jealousy. We stand by our team, proud of what we're building. It got hundreds of likes, a flood of emojis and comments from his little squad of suck-ups and people too far removed to know what really went down. And just like that, the media noise started dying. Articles cooled, tweets faded, tech blogs moved on to the next shiny product launch. For a second, I questioned it. Maybe I'd overplayed my hand, maybe they'd spin it all, say I was bitter, petty, clinging to relevance. Then I got the message. No greeting, no name, just, "Used to work there. I've got something for you." Attached were two files, one labeled Devlog Archive, the other internal email chain. I downloaded them immediately. The logs were real, unmistakable. Internal commits showing a dev contractor had been hired 3 months before I quit. Project name, Echo Building description. Reconstruction of analytics framework based on Signal Core structure. The emails were worse. A thread between Darren, a project lead, and the head of product. Clear instructions. Make it look different, but keep functionality identical. We'll shift naming later. Rick's distracted with client onboarding. He won't notice. They weren't just using my system. They planned to steal it. Premeditated, documented, signed off by Darren himself. I stared at the screen for a long second, took a breath. Because that, right there, that was game over. This wasn't just about me anymore. They were willing to lie, cheat, and bury anyone who stood in their way. But they'd made one mistake. I wasn't losing steam. I was just getting warmed up. I forwarded the whole thing to my attorney and BCC'd Naomi. Her only response was, "Damn, that settles it." I didn't post, didn't rant. I just started prepping my next strike, one that would hit harder than anything they saw coming. They tried to gaslight me, silence me, erase me. But I wasn't walking away. I was loading the next round, and I knew exactly where to aim. 6 weeks later, I stood backstage at the National Marketing and Tech Summit in Phoenix. I was listed on the program as the closing speaker. Topic, Innovation with Integrity. Yeah, that was the actual title. You can't make this shit up. I'd rehearsed the speech twice. Didn't need more than that. This one wasn't about charisma or stage presence. It was about receipts. My name got called. I stepped out under the lights, scanned the room, and there he was. Back row, arms crossed, Darren Maddox. Must have bought a ticket just to watch. Watching me like he still had control of something. I didn't blink, walked up to the podium, clicked the remote. First slide hit the screen behind me, bold and simple. Signal Core V1, registered owner, Rick Devlin. I went straight into it. Second slide, side-by-side screenshots of Signal Core and their internal rebuild, Echo Build. Same logic, same report flow, even the damn color palette. Then came the emails. The ones with Darren giving the green light. Make it look different. Keep functionality identical. Click. Now the audio. his voice clear as day. She walked away. No one's digging into it. The room went dead. Not a cough. Not a shuffle. Just silence thick enough to crack. Then phones started coming up. Cameras. People whispering to each other, turning to stare down the back row. Darren didn't move. Didn't say a word. I didn't give him the time. I kept going. Slide after slide. Commit logs, time-stamped access, screenshots of Signal Core still running in their live environment just weeks ago. I ended with one line on screen. Stealing code is bad enough. Stealing credit is worse. Applause started slow. Then it caught fire. People stood. Phones were up. Mid-speech tweets started flooding in. I watched it happen in real time. Mentions blowing up. The story flying across hashtags. I caught a glimpse of Darren slipping out the back. Fast. No eye contact. By the time I stepped off stage, Naomi had already texted me. "You just broke the internet." That night, the story hit everywhere. Wired, theft in plain sight, how one developer took on corporate IP theft and won. TechCrunch, Signal Core scandal, inside the lawsuit. That's rocking the marketing world. Business Week, innovation versus exploitation, the Devlin Files. People tagged me in every thread. Direct messages from industry leaders, journalists, random interns. Some wanted interviews. Some just wanted to say, "Thanks for showing us how it's done." I didn't post, didn't need to. The story spoke for itself. The guy who got iced out, erased, shut down. Now I was the guy with the mic, and Darren, he wasn't a visionary anymore. He was a headline, the IP scandal of the year. The next morning, LinkedIn lit up like someone flipped a switch. Ex-employees came out swinging. People I hadn't spoken to in years started posting long, brutal stories, screenshots, receipts. Years of being undermined, manipulated, erased. Darren's greatest hits were finally on display. There was a post from Sasha in product. He told me I didn't present well enough for exec meetings, then presented my roadmap slide for slide without me. Another from Theo in client services. He'd say one thing in private, another in public, and made sure everyone else looked like the problem. But the one that hit hardest, some junior analyst, fresh out of school when I first met her, posted, "He once told me I was smart, but not decision-making smart. I believed him, not anymore. Thanks, Rick." That post went viral. Over 20,000 likes in 2 days. Comments from strangers saying, "Same thing happened to me." People weren't just venting. They were backing each other up. My DMs were flooded. Dozens every hour. I didn't have the guts to speak up. They tried to do the same thing to me. "Glad you didn't fold." Then the clients started pulling out. Quiet at first, then loud. 3 major accounts dropped them in 48 hours. One of them issued a statement. "We take integrity seriously. We've terminated all contracts effective immediately." Their PR team went into meltdown. Deleted posts, turned off comments, tried spinning everything into a learning moment. Too late. Then came Jenna, the dev who'd helped me build Signal Core's backend. She'd stayed quiet through it all, until now. Filed an official whistleblower complaint with their parent company's ethics office. Sent me a copy of the report. It was damning. Darren had told her to forge timestamp logs, rewrite Git, commit dates, wipe backups. She saved everything. Documented every conversation, had Slack messages, voice memos. The board didn't wait. He was gone in 24 hours. No farewell post, no redemption tour. Just a 6-sentence press release. Effective immediately, Darren Maddox is no longer with the company. We thank him for his service. That was it. No apology, no responsibility. Just a quiet firing and a fast delete job. But I didn't care. I wasn't waiting for them to make it right. I wasn't waiting for anyone's permission to exist. I already had 5 clients signed, contracts inked, Signal Ethics. That was the name on the door now. Clean, focused, mine, and this time, nobody was stealing it. 6 months later, an email hit my inbox around midnight. Subject line, "You've been nominated." First thought, spam. I almost deleted it, but something about it made me pause. The sender was real, the link worked, and the name of the award stopped me cold. Rising integrity. I sat there for a second, just staring at the screen. Didn't feel proud, didn't feel vindicated, just still. I showed up that night with zero fanfare, no entourage, no designer tux. Just a rented Navy suit and a tie I found buried in the back of my closet. No one tried to rush me or take selfies. No flashbulbs. Until they called my name. People stood, not fast, but real, like they actually meant it. I walked up to the stage. No nerves, no script. Just one truth I'd been carrying for way too long. I took the mic, looked out across the room. I didn't set out to fight, I said. I just wanted to do my job, be respected, build things that worked, things that mattered. A few nods, quiet room. But here's the deal. You bring real values into a corrupt system, that system's gonna come for you, gonna test what you're really made of. I paused, looked down, then back up. They told me the door was right there, so I walked out. Then I let the line hang. But I didn't stay out. I came back and flipped the whole damn table. That broke the silence. Applause, not loud, but sharp, focused. People clapped because they remembered, because they'd seen it. Afterward, folks came up one by one. Some shook my hand, some just nodded. One young guy, barely 20 by the look of him, pulled me aside. "I'm quitting my job tomorrow," he said. "I've got my own idea, my own platform." I smiled. "Good, don't just walk away, build something they can't ignore." He nodded like I'd handed him permission to breathe. On the way out, I felt someone bump my arm. Soft nudge. It was Jenna. "You never asked who nominated you," she said. Then she handed me her phone. It was an old email, dated 6 months ago. Subject, nomination, Rising Integrity Award. Body, he fought not just for himself, but for the rest of us. He reminded us we're allowed to push back. Signed, a former intern. I just stood there holding the phone. Didn't say much, didn't need to. I'd already said everything that mattered.